Every year I get this question. Should my 10th grader go to an SAT academy? To answer this question properly, we need to look beyond the label SAT prep class and ask a better question, and that is, what exactly is your child learning? And is it even the right thing at the right time? So let me explain what I mean by this question. Now, let's start here. In today's test prep industry, the term SAT has become a marketing label because it obviously helps parents like you open wallets. Anything that does to bring in more revenue, these companies will slap SAT. Test prep academies, after school tutoring, and even church programs even offer SAT classes. But is your child learning anything useful in these programs? That's the question. Well, sure, they're labeling it as SAT class, but you got to ask yourself, is the program teaching real math and English topics, or just drilling test gimmicks without a foundation? If your 10th grader has not mastered algebra and geometry yet, then they're not prepping for the SAT. They're still building the toolbox, which should be in this section here. In theory, you can take the SAT as early as 9th grade. But in practice, most students are not ready until they've finished a good chunk of high school math, ideally pre-calculus. So here's the issue. Most commercial SAT classes in the 8-week boot camps assume that your child already knows all the math. And if your student doesn't, it's like teaching test tricks to someone who has not learned how to ride a bike. They will memorize, forget, get discouraged, and waste your money. So if you're unsure whether your child is ready, here's a checklist on what to do. Have them take the real PSAT, or at least a reliable diagnostic mock SAT from College Board. Then look at the results. Is your child scoring in the 400s to 500s? Then don't waste time on test taking strategy. They need core skill building first, especially in algebra, geometry, and grammar, vocab. And if they're already in 600s and above, 600s plus, then this is when test strategy might actually move the needle. But still, this score means that your child still needs to hone in on the weaknesses by focusing on the fundamentals that they're weak at. So this diagnostic plan here is not just helpful, it is actually non-negotiable. Think about it as you getting a surgery. You would not get one without a scan first. So treat it like such and have your child take these diagnostic tests, and check out my other videos on the SAT prep playlist to really get a sense of how to outline your child's prep schedule and strategy. So if you still want to enroll your child in the program, here are the 5 questions to ask before writing that check to the academy. First is, what exactly is being taught each week? You want to get their syllabus and their curriculum. And second, are students grouped by skill level or grade level? You want your child to be grouped with the similar scoring students. That's key. You don't want them grouped with their friend groups, because they're all going to have widely varying scores. And in that group setting, one group is going to waste the other group's time because they're falling behind. Third is, does the instructor have qualified real SAT score report? Is he or she taking the real SAT on a regular basis? This is very key. The instructor actually needs to know what they're teaching and understanding the nuances of the adaptive testing, the digital setting, so that they can impart the nitty-gritty strategies to the students. Is the student repeating the same content over and over? It might be helpful, but if they already know this and they're getting the topics re-drilled in their brain, then it's a waste of time. And last but not least, is progress being tracked and measured? So if answer to most of these questions is I'm not sure, then you might be just paying for expensive babysitting. So to summarize everything, what I recommend your 10th grader do, either over the summer or over the school year, is to take the PSAT, to establish a baseline, focus on mastering core math skills, algebra and geometry, and then build a reading habit, daily reading habit with non-fiction articles and opinion essays. And learn how to study independently. Self-study using real prep books like College Board, Kaplan, Princeton Review. There are many brands out there. And you want to use multiple books because each book contains different style of explanation that might click better with your child. So you want them to experiment with many different styles of books. SAT prep books, that is. And then track progress. Progress tracking every 4 to 6 weeks. And look, if your child is starting this process at a 10th grade, they're not behind. They're right on time, actually, to build core foundational strength instead of cramming later. Okay, so the bottom line is, don't fall for the name on the door just because it says SAT Academy. Don't fall for it blindly without doing your due diligence and asking the right questions. And SAT Academy is only as good as what it teaches and whether your student is ready to receive it. So forget the hype, get the data, get the right answers, and give your child what they really need, which is a plan that builds confidence, not confusion. So if this helped clarify your child's 10th grade SAT prep timeline, hit the like button and share it with a fellow parent. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.